Oh, Nelly! Live from the Rock Sports Network in beautiful Gates, New York, it's Sports Mumblings, presented by Salvatore's Pizza. And now, here's your host, Matt Goldman and John Cargill. Oh, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly. Okay. I guess that was the legendary voice of Notre Dame football. I'm not really sure, but whoa, Nelly. Yes, thank you, Mr. Was that Nelly Furtado? I'm not really sure who that was. Maybe I should read up on my college football. But thank you so much for whoever the new announcer is. Welcome to Sports Mumblings. Yes, we're recording a little early today. If you are listening live, it is bright sunshine outside here in Rochester, New York, which is quite a change from what we've had. As I predicted, spring is here early. After such a harsh winter, yes, ladies and gentlemen, spring is here early. But this is not a weather show. This is a sports show. And this is a very special type of sports show. This is a Rochester sports show. I was listening to John DiTullio on the way in here. Love John DiTullio. People don't like his voice. I like his voice. But you know what they were talking about today? They were talking about the Buffalo Bills. It's March, and they're talking about the Buffalo Bills. We just had one of the most epic moments of the year in Rochester sports history go down yesterday in Syracuse, and not a mention of it on the John DiTullio show. They're talking about the Bills, whose season doesn't start for another 6 months? Yeah, 6 months. Oh, well. But that's mainstream sports media for you. That's why we're a little different. We are going to talk to you about Rochester sports and only Rochester sports. What a day yesterday. This is Monday that we're recording this if you're listening to the replay. The Lancers traveling to the On Center in Syracuse, losing game 2 of that series after winning game 1 at home on Thursday 20-7. Losing game 2 16-7. Getting just shellacked in game 2. They did not look like they had it together. Very worrisome for the almost 2,000 Lancers fans who traveled the 90-minute drive down the thruway. Amazing turnout for the Lancer fans to travel that far in that big of numbers. But then, of course, the MASL playoffs, at least in the East, you play a best of 2, sort of. So if one team wins both games, then, okay, the series is over. If one team wins one and then the other team wins one, you split it, and you play a minigame. A 15-minute winner-take-all miniature game, and that's what went down yesterday at the On Center in Syracuse, and the Lancers coming out on top with a 3-2 victory over the arch-rival Syracuse Silver Knights. The winning goal, the only goal scored for the Lancers in that minigame, was on a fluke. The Silver Knights tried to clear the ball, and it bounced off Yaquil Perez's head and into the goal for a 3-pointer. Syracuse had previously scored a 2-pointer. And that took the lead for the Lancers. They held on despite a scramble from the Silver Knights, at least in the last couple of minutes. Mark Sotili, what a day yesterday! Oh my God!
Yeah, it was a big game. We probably didn't play as well as we would have liked to the first part of the game. But, we came back in the 15-minute mini game, and, we played pretty well there. And luckily we came home with the win, and we get to play in Baltimore.
What a weird way to end it, though, on that the 3-pointer in the mini game. A botched clear, basically, by the Silver Knights, and it bounces off Yaquil Perez's head and into the goal for a 3-pointer.
Yeah, I give it to Yaquil. That's a big man hitting the ball at you,
Sure.
And Yaquil's a strong guy himself, and he didn't turn his back. He faced it. He took the shot. You may think it just hit him in the head, but for the most part, I would say Kel knew what he was doing, and he didn't shy away from the shot, and that's what it took to win the game. It's just a big set of
Now,
So,
Mark, I don't know if you noticed this, but because I pay attention to the referees, being one myself. They had extra officials for that game. They had goal judges, which they don't have in the regular season, and the referee initially did not call that a goal. The goal judge signaled. He waved his flag to signal a goal. The referee ran over, talked to him, to make sure that he was sure that it was a goal, and they called it a goal. So I'm props to the MASL for for supplying extra officials, because if they weren't there yesterday, Syracuse might have won that 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely. I knew that they had the flags guys in there for the goal line for the playoffs and stuff like that, and instant as soon as the ball crossed the line, that guy, that's the first thing I noticed. That, I'm on the bench watching, and first thing I saw was that guy jump up and put that flag up. I don't know if anybody else on the bench saw it, but I just instantly saw it. I was screaming three-pointer.
Yeah.
Ref called it a goal, and then I think he heard our whole bench screaming three-pointer, and that's when he blew the whistle dead. And and like I said, sometimes you look at those things and it depends, but the goal, my personal opinion, a lot of people have opinion whether it went in or not, but as fast as that guy jumped up to wave the flag, he was not, he was definitely like, yeah, it's in, 100% in.
Oh yeah, I mean, they got to be 100% sure, and it looked like, just like in the outdoor game, if you're an AR and you're going to call a goal that the referee didn't see, you got to be 100% sure. So I'm sure it was a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, and it's not like, Syracuse can be like, oh, well, the refs called that goal. They had plenty of chances in the last 8 minutes to beat us. Our defense played well. Joey Kapinos had a good game in the mini game. Not to say that he didn't play well in the first game, but none of us played real well. But in the mini game, everybody, at the last 8.5 minutes, got together as a team. And, they weathered the storm, and here we are going to Baltimore because of a team effort.
And speaking of Joey Kapinos, he's going to be calling in just a few minutes here. It'll be very interesting to hear from him. He had a great mini game. Maybe not. Probably, I'm guessing in game 2 he probably would have, liked to have a couple of those back. Although they were just pretty dominant in that second game overall. But in the mini game, he was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought he played pretty well in the first game. The only problem is, people, I think he left them a little out, high and dry a little bit, let them get better chances on us than they should have. But, all in all, I still think he played a pretty good game. But, yeah, in the mini game, I think maybe he dictated his box a little bit more. Maybe, he gave some guys some directions. And I think also, the rest of the team realized, listen, it's either do or die. We either go out there and throw everything at it, or, we go home, and cry about it. So, they all stepped up real big and they did their jobs. Joey wasn't stopping it. Jake was stopping it. Basso was stopping it. Edgar, Maurizio had some good plays. Joey Travanese had some good plays. I think one of the biggest ones was Jeremy Ortiz actually turned away Yelovich right at the top of the box, and he had a wide open shot.
Right. That was a great block right there.
That could have been right there the play of the game that put us to the championship, whether you give it to the 3-point goal or not. Jeremy's, slide tackle across the box was really the one that basically said, hey, we're going.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even, I saw Elliott laying himself out. I mean, he's got to be careful with himself, but he was just going all out too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it was 100% a team effort. And these guys left everything on the table. And to be honest with you, we had practice this morning, and every one of them was back at practice this morning, and we were going at it again. So, these guys know what it's going to take, and they're doing everything they can to do it. So I give them props up, every day.
Mark, do you think it helped, in all honesty, and be honest, yes or no? There were about 2,000 Lancer fans that made the trip and were really loud, especially in that the mini game. Did that help?
Absolutely it helps, because at one aspect, you're in their house, and their crowd's going crazy, and that pumps you up. But our crowd was really loud. I think they were just as loud, if not louder, than the crowd that they had. So that helps us. Even though we're at your home field, we feel like we're at home, and we have a point to prove, not to the Baltimore Blast, but to everybody. or I mean, not to Syracuse, but to everybody. And the fact that, because of those fans, we're where we are today. And if they're going to all make the trip to come out there, we sure want to do whatever it takes to make them happy and get them to the next level.
And I hope some of them make the trip down to Baltimore. I know it's a little tougher of a road trip than Syracuse. When are you guys leaving for Baltimore?
We're leaving tomorrow for Baltimore tomorrow afternoon. I think they are planning on trying to get a fan bus to go down on Wednesday.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so it'd be a good time. We'd love to have our fans there. We'd love to go to Baltimore and win that, and then go to the next level. Everything's just a big journey for everybody on this team. And we're all living it together.
Now, how do you think it affects you guys? Baltimore has been off since they played you guys last on March 1st, which was now 9 days ago. And you guys have played 2 games and are about to play your third in a very, condensed stretch of games. How does that affect you guys going in and going on the road? You guys got to travel again.
I don't think it's going to affect us as bad as you would think. I think Baltimore's a little bit, they haven't played, whatever. So, they're gonna maybe, be a little bit frustrated. But in the same aspect, Doug said it this morning. There's a big thing that we have advantage over them is that we just played a game where it was do or die. They don't know what it is to play a game that's do or die. We're going into this game. It's either we do or we die. So, we're going to go in knowing what almost just happened to us. The last thing we want to do is happen again. If we can go after these guys right off the bat, and knock them off, their pedestal, I think we can take them, and like I said, as long as we play like we know how to play, I don't think Baltimore is going to beat us.
John, Mark, one of the things, John, I know you didn't, you missed yesterday's game, but one of the things that was amazing to me was that during the mini game, Mark, I'm sure you saw this, after Elliott committed that foul right outside the box, which was, to be honest, a questionable call. Right after Elliott committed that foul, during the timeout, Doug is running out onto the field and physically, in his suit and tie, physically moving the wall. And we're now joined by Joey Kapinos, the goalkeeper from yesterday for that amazing game. Joey, I was just mentioning to Mark Sotili about how I loved when Dougie ran out onto the field during that mini game to physically move the wall back. Just the fire from your coach, that's got to just be great for you guys.
Yeah, you typically don't see a coach really that much into a game, and I guess he really wanted to win just like all of us, so he decided to put it upon himself and set the wall the way he thought that it should be set.
And to me, that that call was kind of questionable in the first place. It looked like a bit of a dive.
The officiating the game was kind of questionable.
There were a few things. As I said to Mark Sotili, that 3-pointer, thank God that there was a goal judge for those games, because if not, that goal would not have counted. But I saw you, Joe. You were running out right after that the goal, running out to the referees and saying 3, 3, 3, because they weren't sure if that was a 2 or a 3.
Yeah, I think it was the league might have made a decision to have goal line judges in the Eastern Division because watching the Vegas San Diego game, I think I saw goal line judges on the line. So thankfully we did have that judge there, and he raised his flag, and Yakil, the big head, got that ball in the goal.
What a strange way to win the series. Like Dougie said in the paper, though, when you're destined to win, you're destined to win. Is that what it felt like?
Yeah. To be honest, he's been really putting our team in the belief system of believing that we're going to win an MASL championship, and we've had adversity throughout the entire year, whether it be injuries or nicks and bruises or just losing games that we shouldn't have lost. And he has us really believing that we're going to win. And I actually, to be honest, I didn't necessarily believe 100% that we were destined to win, except yesterday truly made me think, like, how does that ball
made you a believer
for that 3-pointer?
Just bizarre, just unbelievable. What a way to win. Now, you coming from you played for the Waza before this year in the old PASL. Now, you guys didn't have mini games in the PASL, correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay, so how was that? That's got to be pretty nerve-wracking just knowing that the series is on the line and you only got 15 minutes to decide it.
Yeah, back in the last 2 years when I was at Detroit, it was a 2-game series, and then if that was tied 1-1 after 2, it would be a sudden death golden goal.
Okay.
Wow,
That's even worse. I mean,
that's
even
more
yeah.
aggravating. That's like,
yeah.
So actually having a full 15 minutes, I actually enjoyed more because
Sure.
if I did get scored on, I'm okay.
Right,
We still have
right.
some time to score, and with God's help, we can win on a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Which is I actually really do appreciate multi-point scoring. Some people don't like it. I appreciate it for that one reason.
I think it's great. I think all the fans in the Eastern Division love it.
I think if more fans were exposed to
exactly.
it,
I think if the Western
that's
teams
the big
tried
problem.
it, you know what I mean? I would love to see. I know it'll never happen,
No,
but to see the Western teams just try it for a half a season or just for a couple games,
Yeah, and
I
that's
think
what
they would
Sam,
like it. You know?
And Sam even said
I know
that.
that's what Sam's been
He
preaching
said,
the whole time.
If you just give it a shot, you'll see how exciting it is.
It is.
You know,
it
the
totally
fact
is.
that you can be down 3-0 and with one goal tie it
exactly
is exhilarating.
Joey, I was amazed. That was so fun in Syracuse yesterday. Being a part of all the fans that traveled from Rochester. There were almost 2,000 Lancer fans that traveled down the thruway. In all honesty, did that help you guys?
Oh, without a doubt, it helped us. As soon as we walked out of the tunnel, you could hear the entire Lancers crowd section just go absolutely insane, and it truly did make the War Memorial really feel like our home field. And even though we dropped the second game, the mini game is what we knew we had to win because it was win or go home, and the fans really were pushing for us. And when that 3-pointer went in, and the crowd went nuts when the ref signaled that it was a 3-pointer, and we had some good defensive stands with Mauricio blocking shots, Ortiz blocking shots, Schindler playing really well, and our defense just hung in there after we scored that 3-pointer and just buckled down, and we got the win.
So now, what's the preparation like? Really, really quick turnaround going to Baltimore. To me, it doesn't really seem fair that you guys just played a 2-game series, which if you look at the other divisions, the Central Division, they played a 2-game series, but it was spread out over 10 days. And in the West, they're not playing 2-game series. This is the only division where you got to play 2-game series and then go right to the next game coming up Wednesday in Baltimore. How do you guys prepare to turn around that quick and play the most important game of the season?
Today's practice was kind of easier than normal, kind of rejuvenated, together legs underneath us, but we're still practicing on what to do against Baltimore. And it's not that physically it's going to be tough because we are sore, we are bruised, but I think it's going to be more of a mental aspect of knowing that, hey, we haven't beat them yet, but they can be beat. And that's what we have to believe in. It was funny because after the game yesterday, one of the San Diego Sockers fans who has a lot of respect for me when I played against them in Detroit 2 years ago, he messaged me and he said that the Blast can be beat. And he knows that for a fact because San Diego Sockers did beat them.
They did beat them, right.
So their fan base is rooting for us, it seems, because we are the underdog, but we're okay with being the underdog because it's the David versus Goliath story all over again, and it only takes one try to knock Goliath down, and we haven't beat them this year, but we've shown that we can put a lot of points up against them, and we just have to be successful with our game plan.
Now, what did you guys learn in that last game against Baltimore? You know, when you almost beat them, losing 25-23 in a really epic game at home. What did you guys learn about the Blast?
We learned that they can get scored on, but then again, we learned that we can score on them, but they can also score on us, and that was probably, I'll throw it out there, that's probably my worst game as a Rochester Lancer by far. And I know I have to step my game up, and with the practices that Mark and myself have been doing, and with Doug's help, we've been getting better with shot blocking, and that's what's going to have to be on point when we play them on Wednesday, because they are going to get shots off, and we just have to be able to block shots, defend really well, and score some goals against Gonzalez.
How important to your success is the amazing warm-up kicks of Mark Sotili?
Mark's been a key component in my success. He knows exactly how to warm me up. We've become really good friends, and I mean, you can't ask for a better backup or a better teammate as well, because he is the veteran on the team, and he's like a big brother. Like, he's actually like a dad to me, pretty much. Yeah, that's like the only thing. I'm the twins' father, so it's Los Trios Kapinos.
And you're old enough to be their father too, right?
Sorry. I absolutely am, and I'm proud to say that I'm old enough to be their father, man. They're two good kids, man. Like I said, Joey's a class act, and me and Joey are basically, he knows what it takes, and I push him every day, by trying to be better than him. Whether I am or not, it doesn't really matter. Our job is to make sure that either of us is better than the other and push us to our limits. Like Joey said, he had a bad game against Baltimore. He didn't have a bad game. Someone made him have a bad game. God has a plan for him, us, and everybody else, and there's a reason why Joey had one bad game all year. And I'm sure when he stands on his head against Baltimore this Wednesday and we beat him, you're going to see why he had one bad game.
And Joey, if you ever have issues with your car, of course you can bring it down to 936 Portland Avenue.
I actually do have to get my oil changed. Don't go somewhere else. Don't be talking to Mark about that.
There you go.
Yeah,
Mark.
at 936 Portland Avenue.
Yes, that's Joey's place.
But
best prices in Rochester.
Best prices in Rochester. I'm telling Mark, how's my roommate's car doing?
Your roommate's car is here. We're working on it. We're trying to get it done. Unfortunately,
I told him yesterday. I'm like, now that you guys won, I'm like, you probably won't see your car for like a month. Because it's on to Baltimore, then it's on to Kansas City, then it's on to Vegas. By the time you guys are done celebrating,
it's on to Bermuda with our cruise.
Right.
Yeah,
by the time his Subaru will never come back.
Listen, but I'm going to tell you right now, after we pull off this, huge upset of over everybody, and we're on our cruise, I am going to tell you right now, me and Joey Kapinos are going to be on the beaches of wherever, and I guarantee we're still going to have our gloves on. That's what I'm going to tell you.
And we're still going to have our hands up in the air with a band, making sure we make pictures.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got it. Wherever you are, you got to go into the ocean with your gloves on and try to catch like an eel or something.
Or a lobster.
Yeah, well, we'll have to pull a netto.
A netto, okay. Yeah, Sammy was going off on Neto yesterday again. He thinks he's a bit of a diver.
Yeah, I agree with Sammy.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to say for sure.
He's also a veteran, and then, my personal opinion, he's a veteran. Yeah, it was some pretty ugly diving, but he got the calls, and he got the calls.
It's true. There is something to be said about that.
It's an art.
It is.
Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. Our team is made up of a bunch of guys that, we're strong, we're oxes, and we keep fighting for those extra inches, and we don't take those dives, we don't take those falls, and then the worst part about it is when Hoxie did take a fall, and it was a bad fall, and it was like a breakaway. So same with Enrique, all they got is a direct kick, and they could have been easily penalty shots.
Sure.
So, that's why we don't fall. These guys keep fighting for the extra inches, and I give them credit for not being divers, and I give them credit for standing strong and tall.
Joey, it was announced that you will be the goalkeeper for Team USA in the upcoming Arena Soccer World Cup, which was really exciting.
Yeah, that's amazing. Congratulations.
How does that feel to be chosen?
It feels really it's a blessing in my opinion. I'm going to be playing alongside the best players in the league, whether it's Leo Gibson or Pat Healy or even Danny Waltman, and the list goes on and on and on for that World Cup roster that I've seen. So, Aaron Suzy and Phil Salvaggio from the San Diego Sockers are excited to have me go there for the camp and help the team win. And whether it's I play in 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, it doesn't really matter to me. I just want us to be a part of that team and support the team however I can and help them succeed and win a World Cup.
And I think it's really, really cool that they were able to throw this, hastily throw together this Arena Soccer World Cup. Because we first heard about it back when the Lancers announced that they were going to join the new league, which was, last April? May? And I remember Sammy was on, I think I Kick This, he said, next year we're having an the first ever Arena Soccer World Cup. And it was like, oh, this is awesome. And then we heard nothing about it, literally until last week. And when they announced it, like, oh, yeah, we're going to play this month.
Yeah, it's like...
But, hey, I'm happy they got it together. And there is a game, of course, coming to the Blue Cross Arena.
Russia versus Brazil.
March 23rd. Russia versus Mauricio Salas and Brazil, which should be really cool. I think Team USA, you guys will be on the West Coast, right, Joey?
Yeah, the games for us are 2 games in Ontario, California, and then 1 game in San Diego. So I'll be flying out there after the playoffs, March 22nd.
You'll be leaving from where?
I'll be leaving from Hartford. That's my flight out. I didn't decide Rochester. I said
Hartford. Wouldn't you be leaving from wherever our championship game would be?
I think the championship game is going to be the 20th. That's my.
Well, it's going to be it's going to be either in Vegas or Monterey, correct?
I think it's going to be Monterey.
Yeah, I think Monterey would be great.
Here's the thing. I believe if we end up, let's say we end up winning, the championship game could be in Rochester.
I don't see record-wise how that could happen, unless you guys know differently.
Only because Vegas. I've heard rumors that their lease there is with their arena is very, very complicated.
I was thinking
very tough.
Like
and then Monterey, and then Monterey. I don't believe all the players on our team have workers visas to go into Mexico or passports. So Monterey, who plays in the South Division with Dallas and Brownsville and the teams in Texas, all their players have workers visas. So they necessarily could come up to Rochester rather than us having to figure out how to get to Mexico.
But I wonder, it seems like, the league could say, like, if you guys can't go to Mexico, that's your problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they could pull that, but at the same time, we are drawing the highest attendance in the league. So, you go with record, or do you go with a good product on the field and a good attendance in the stands?
Well, I guess the way this league's been in its first season, anything could happen.
Yeah, I think we've seen it all too.
They could all of a sudden say, "Hey, you guys are going to play a best of 7 just for fun."
It wouldn't shock me. We've seen pretty much everything.
Right.
So
who
far.
knows? It totally could happen.
I see a neutral site if that happens, though.
Yeah. I don't know. Well,
again, it would be pretty tough
steps.
to have a neutral site if because then you got to try to find out when your availabilities are. Whereas we could pretty much probably get the Blue Cross at any point in time. So,
right. Well,
it's all options. First we got to get past Baltimore.
Right. I was going to say baby steps.
Right now.
Baby steps.
And like I said, I know we have what it takes to get past Baltimore. I know Joey played pretty well. I thought the first game yesterday, I thought he played phenomenal in the last 15 minutes. And his confidence is back up after the first game. In the second game, and we're working hard in practice today. We're going to be working hard tomorrow. And like I said, Joey's going to stand on his head, and guys are going to see him stand on his head, and they're going to back him up like they 15-minute mini game, and we're going to take it to Baltimore, I hope. And like I said, if these guys just have to be willing to sacrifice everything they have to win this game.
Joey, one more thing. I saw on the Lancers website that you are a tennis player, and I love tennis. Are you a good tennis player?
I played tennis in high school. I wanted to be a 3-sport athlete with Jamie as well. So we decided to play soccer, tennis, and basketball/swimming throughout our 4 years in high school. So we actually played 4 years of varsity tennis, and I was a 3-year captain of that varsity team, never having taken any classes whatsoever.
There's only 2 players on their tennis team, though. It was him and his brother.
They just had to pick one.
we were number 1, 2, and then 1 double. So we played a lot of positions.
Very cool. Do you like singles or doubles better?
I like singles because then I didn't have to yell at anybody else. I could just yell at myself.
Right. I love
Jamie tended to hate me after our doubles matches.
If you think about it, like singles tennis, it's kind of in a way it's similar to being a goalie because it's just you. Like it's just you in the goal or it's just you in the court.
Yeah, it's a whole mentality aspect of it. If it's your mistake, it's your mistake.
Exactly.
And all the credit lays on you, whether you do well or you do poorly. So I feel like it's a mental game. It's a very, very demanding mental game. So that's why I like tennis. It's fun, and I can probably play it until I'm 90 when I stop playing at the age of 70 indoor soccer.
That would be
pickleball,
great.
Buddy. Once you start getting older, you got to play pickleball.
All right, hold on. What is that with a soccer, like tennis with a soccer ball?
No. Pickleball is like you play with a wiffle ball and wooden paddles. It's almost like ping pong and tennis put together on a regular tennis court.
With the small.
Oh, you know what?
With the smaller courts.
Okay, hold on. I've seen like elderly people playing this.
That's what he was just saying. When he's 90, he's still going to play tennis. When he's 90, he's going to be playing pickleball.
No, he's going to be playing tennis. Screw pickleball. He's going to be playing the real sport when he's 90. Pickleball.
I don't know about all that. He's going to be playing pickleball. Watch, I'm going to tell you, he's playing
All right.
pickleball.
Well, we'll check in 60 or 70 years, all right? All right, Joey, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really looking forward to
it's gonna be
this
great.
game Wednesday. Going to be watching on GoLiveSportscast.com.
We should have a viewing party.
I think there is a viewing party. It was just announced today at the Garage Door on Eastwood Road.
Salvatore's.
Amazing.
Yep.
At 7 o'clock on Wednesday. So all you Lancer fans, if you're not traveling down, what is it, the 95? Yeah, 95. You go to New York City and then travel south, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, guys?
I don't pay attention when I'm on the bus. I just put my headphones
Who's
on.
Who's driving the bus?
Who's driving this
Is
time?
Dougie driving? Mark, are you
No,
driving?
we got a limo bus.
wow.
Okay.
Like a big bus going down.
Very
So.
cool.
Nice.
Very, very cool. All right, well, best of luck. And Joey,
luck.
thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Joey Kapinos, one half of the Twin Towers. And thank you to Dominic Cicluna for giving us Joey Kapinos, right?
Yes.
That was Mark, I mean, thank God for Dominic Cicluna. What would we do without the Kapinos brothers?
You know, everybody, saw Superman. Man, if you think this kid is good now, I'm sorry, but in Detroit, he played indoor soccer, but he's learning indoor soccer here in Rochester from Doug. This kid's going to be a phenomenal indoor goalkeeper over the next few years. Like I said, he just has to, be confident in himself and just do what he's asked to do. And, he's going to learn a lot. And, like I said, every day he's improving with something different. Even though he's a great keeper already, you're going to see he's going to be one of the best goalies in this league.
Mark, just from the way you talk, I think you have a future in coaching, man.
Thanks. Hopefully, once I'm done playing, maybe, I'll become help a goalkeeper coach for the Lancers or something. But, I'm just saying in general, like I said, I know Doug knows a lot of things. He knows how to, coach goalies, field players, and that's what he's doing right now. And he does his homework a lot. And, like I said, Joey's a phenomenal keeper already, and he's just only going to get better. So if you think he's good now, like I said, he's going to be one to watch out for, in the league.
All right, Mark. Listen, you're welcome to stay on the line for the whole show if you want. If you got to work, please, you're welcome to go as well. We're going to have Allie Binnington, the goalie for the RIT women, who are making their first appearance ever.
Big win the other day.
First appearance ever in the NCAA tournament as a Division I team. She'll be on in about 10 minutes. We got some more hockey to talk about, some more soccer. So, Mark, you're welcome to stay on. You're welcome
Listen,
to...
I'd love to stay on, guys. I want to thank you guys, but I do have work to get done. I got to get back to work.
You got to get back to that Subaru.
Watch.
Get back to
please watch and cheer us on tomorrow, Wednesday night. And thanks for calling me, having me on again.
Absolutely.
Without being able to be there. But again, thank you guys for coming out yesterday.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the support you've given us. It's just incredible.
Thanks so much for everything, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
We'll have you on next week.
Yep, I'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good.
All right,
All right. Goodbye.
I think we have a really good thing here in Rochester with the Lancers. I think that the groundwork has been put in place, and I think the product is showing itself really well. I think we have a great
sometimes, Sam complains a lot about the local media. But,
and I don't blame him.
Okay, here's the
we
thing.
complain too.
I said this in the opening of the show. I was listening to John DiTullio on the way in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do you think they were talking about?
I didn't hear the show.
But just if you had to guess.
If I had to guess, the Bills with their signings.
The Bills.
The Bills signings.
After what happened with the Lancers yesterday, they're not talking about it. They're talking about the Bills.
And you want to know something? I check a lot of local media. Being a person who's well-traveled like yourself is, I've seen a lot of media in other places, and they usually cover their teams. I mean, you look at Syracuse. I mean, they're covering the Silver Knights' loss, and the fans are on their on their live feeds talking about it, and you go a lot of other places and they talk about their teams, and I think Sammy is right, and we both have said the same thing. The Nighthawks will have an amazing game. The Lancers will pull off an amazing series, and you won't hear anything about it. So I think he's right.
Because we lie in the shadow of Buffalo more than Syracuse. You know what I mean?
Well, yes.
They lie in the shadow of Syracuse University.
Yes,
Rightfully
they do.
so.
Yes, they do.
Rightfully so. It's one of the biggest colleges as far as sports
It's
go.
actually
in the country.
I think I was watching the thing about the Boeheim the other day, and they're saying how his suspension affects him. I believe their program, Syracuse University Athletics, is the fourth most lucrative college sports program in the country, and because of that, in the world.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. But and the difference though being is we are in Rochester, not Buffalo.
Yeah,
the Bills do not play here; they play an hour and a half away.
But the thing is, I think the big problem we face is,
and not only that, it's March. They play the NFL from September to February. Why are we talking about football?
I don't know, but I think the big problem that we have here is the fact that we have a lot of these local sports teams to follow that we could be very passionate about, but I think some people want to be part of the quote-unquote, I'm doing the quotes with my fingers, bigger picture.
Right.
To be part of the NFL, and I think that's just we're missing out on a good chance to support our teams.
John, some more soccer news. New MASL team, the Soles de de Sonora.
De Sonora.
Okay, Sonora being the state in Mexico, and I think the Soles might be sun.
Sonora, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's the
state of the sun.
Sonora Suns, basically. So another Mexican team, a third Mexican team joining. Or no, second. Is there?
Well, there's
no, two. Yeah, Rancho Seco, Monterrey, and
Saltillo.
Saltillo. Oh, is there three?
Saltillo.
Oh, there's three already.
Monterey.
Rancho Seco.
Oh,
no, that is Saltillo. Rancho Seco,
Saltillo.
That
okay.
is the same team.
That's right.
So, yeah, Monterey, Rancho Seco, Saltillo, and now...
I want to start seeing some Canadian teams.
I want to see
Toronto,
Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal,
Halifax.
Vancouver. Yeah, why not?
I want to see the teams right above us.
Sam said on the radio yesterday that Kevin Milliken, the commissioner of the MASL, is in discussions with Providence, Utica, and another AHL city that he cannot mention.
Okay. I think it'd be nice to see Utica with a team. I mean,
to
have
I think Buffalo's got to get a team back. I mean, the Buffalo Blizzard were huge. Doug Miller played for the Buffalo Blizzard back in the 90s when they drew, 14,000 people a game.
If Buffalo, Syracuse, and Utica got a team, it would be an amazing Empire division.
I think
that would be great.
Cool. Very cool. Like the old Empire division in the AHL.
Yes, that would be. I think we'd all love that. And maybe even Albany or Binnington could join in on the fun.
John, the MLS almost had a players' strike. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I did.
But thankfully for American soccer, it was averted. They agreed. I think basically the league caved.
And
they gave him free agency because I think the league realized that they're not big enough yet to have a strike and survive. They're not the NBA. They're not the NHL.
But even the NHL has its trouble.
The NHL, when it had its lockout in 04-05, it took them about 5 years.
I'll say so. You mean
fans were pissed off for a while.
Yes,
they really were.
Now
the NHL
bring it up.
Longer than stronger than ever. But it took them about a good 5 years.
And I think that strike, that 04 strike, may have actually helped 04-05.
Why can't I hear you in my headphones right now?
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Good.
All right.
Can you hear me now? Good.
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 Can you hear me now? Good.
Can you hear me now?
Actually, I can't.
Can you hear me now?
Actually, I can't hear you in my headphones now.
Yeah, listen. You're
for real.
Okay, but I'm hearing you on the Audacity, so I think your voice is going through. We just can't hear each other.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I can hear myself, but I can't hear you.
There we go. Now I hear you.
Do you?
No, now I don't hear you.
I don't hear you.
All right, hold on.
Maybe.
Technical difficulties.
The audacity of this program.
Hold on. That's a good pun. Hold on 1 second. John, just keep talking for a second.
Okay. Well, one thing that I will say about the local media is they used to be good at covering the Amerks, and I think that they're starting to get good at covering the Amerks again.
Yeah.
And I think that's
it's ironic because the Amerks aren't even good.
Well, but the thing is, I think it's because the Amerks.
All right. Can you hear me?
Talk again.
I hear you.
I can hear me too.
I hear you. Do you hear me?
I can hear you, but like I don't hear you in the headphones. I hear you like when I pull my headphones
Really?
out. I can hear you just as
Can
good.
you hear Jeopardy? Hold on. Let's try again.
Yes, I can. I
All
can
right,
hear
then
Jeopardy.
We're good. We'll be able to hear
But
Ali.
yeah,
Okay.
I think that that's something that the only what's gonna I believe is gonna change it before we move on to our next topic.
Yes.
What's gonna change the whole media thing is people's feelings about our local sports teams and passions about our area. That's the only thing that's gonna change it. So I mean, support your local teams. Say show an interest that you want to learn. Hear about them, and I think it'll change over time.
John, the Rhinos season is underway. The preseason, at
Yeah,
least.
did you go to the game the
I
other
did
day?
not. My roommate did, but
Yeah, I heard.
they played Niagara University Friday night. The
Convincingly
wind
won.
chill was 10 degrees
Yeah.
Fahrenheit. So, and they played outdoor soccer. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, well,
And from what I heard, there were a lot of injuries, which is Mark Sotilli. We talked to him about that. He doesn't understand why they play outside this early, because you're gonna get hurt.
Oh
Playing
yeah, your
outside
cold
on
muscles
turf.
on turf.
Yeah.
I don't know either, and I think that's part of the reason why these teams don't want to play each other while they play college teams.
And the other thing is, if you're a player and you have a choice, let's say you have a choice between signing with Rochester or Austin.
Okay.
Who are you going to sign with? You sign with Austin, you get to start training outdoors in January, and you get to play MLS teams in February. They had a little cup down there, preseason cup.
That's something.
Or you go to Rochester and you play in 10 degrees and hurt yourself.
See, and I'm glad you brought that up, because here's something that I talked a few years ago. I actually asked one of the people in the front office. I said, "Why don't we, do something like that? Why don't we, have like a
travel down
like
south?
have like a derby against,
or why don't they
other
train
teams.
in Florida?
Because that's money,
Exactly.
I mean, and I understand why they don't.
But
do
that would make sense, right?
Or why don't they play at a facility like TSC that's indoors?
Because their full size field is not big enough. That's why.
Oh, okay,
It's
that
only
answers
like
it.
it's smaller than like if they played at Frontier Field. It's really small. So that would be why. They don't even play. I don't even think they play 11-on-11 when they train there. I think they play 9-on-9.
Yeah.
So that would be why.
That makes perfect sense.
But still, it seems a little crazy to play outside when it's like 10 degrees.
Well, I mean, just look at lacrosse. And I was a lacrosse player, and you start lacrosse season in the winter.
And
really.
I know that's crazy to me.
And we're
that
playing
in New York
outside
State, they
in the
start
snow.
In February.
Well, it's not just New York. I mean, the teams in the Mid-Atlantic. Like we'd go down to play a team like Ann Arundel. There'd be snow down there sometimes.
All right.
So it's just the season.
John, we got to switch gears real quick to some hockey. We're joined by Ali Binnington, goaltender for the RIT women's hockey team, going to their first ever NCAA tournament as a Division I team. Ali, congratulations!
Yeah,
Thank you for coming on. Tell us how does it feel in your senior season? Finally, you guys made it to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's a really exciting feeling. I mean, coming in as a freshman, we had the opportunity to participate in the D3 National Championship, and then made the jump up to Division I the next year. And then every year we've kind of made a step forward. So we went to the semifinals our first year D1, and then last year able to win the CHA championship. And now this year making another step, going to the Division I. We're going to the NCAAs for that. So it's just an amazing feeling, and I think all of us are kind of just a little bit in shock, and we're just taking it all in right now, and we're just really excited and looking forward to this weekend.
So yesterday, beating Syracuse University in double overtime, 2-1 in double overtime. Was this your first overtime game, or have you had experience in overtime before? How nerve-wracking is it as a goalie?
Actually, last year in the finals of the CHA tournament, it went to double overtime as well, and we were able to win against the top seed Mercyhurst last year. So we had some experience in it, and talking in the locker room between periods, going into overtime, and then after the first overtime, we talked about it. We're like, we're a team. We know how to play. We're well conditioned. We know how to participate in overtime, and we've had a lot of experience with it. And I think that was the biggest difference in that double overtime, or in the first overtime as well, is that we had a lot more experience in those big games in the overtime, and I think we were able to take advantage of it. it is nerve-wracking going into it because, especially for the seniors, it could be
Sure.
the goal that decides it could end your career. So
Right.
I think that was a lot of motivation for us.
Now, and especially as the goalie, I mean, you're the last line of defense there before the puck goes in and makes that red light go on. I mean, how do you keep your composure going into a sudden death session like that?
I think it's just trying not to think too much about it. So I take it as I just focus on every shot as it comes at me. So I'm not looking at the scoreboard or worrying about that last goal. I'm just kind of doing my role and doing what I can do and focusing on every shot as it comes and trying not to think about the fact that if one shot goes in, it could be the end of my career or the end of our season. So I think it's just focusing on the right things.
Now, I like how you said in the paper today, you said, going to Minnesota, we have nothing to lose. You guys are a huge underdog going into Saturday's quarterfinal game at Minnesota, having to play on the road. Basically, they are the home team. It's Minnesota 31 wins on the year, 31-3-4, compared to 15 wins for you guys. Tell us about your mentality, the team's mentality going into this quarterfinal.
Yeah, so we know, well, first of all, going into the postseason, we talk about how the postseason is a completely different season. So with the postseason starting, we've been a completely different team, and it shows we've been undefeated in the postseason. We're on a 5-game winning streak right now. That's the longest winning streak that we had all year, and we've been more successful than we were ever during the regular season. So I don't think our record is really indicative of the team that we are. So just we're kind of going in, again, we're taking it one game at a time, so that's what we've been doing all postseason. We're going in with the mentality, a lot of people don't think that it's going to be a close game that we're able to compete. We're using that as our motivation. We're going in with the mentality, we're a huge underdog and we do have nothing to lose, everything to prove. So, I mean, we're pretty lucky going into this scenario. It's not like a team like Minnesota where they've got pressure because if they were to get upset, it would be huge for us, but it would look really bad on them. So I think we're at the advantage with that because we're going in and we're just going to leave it all on the ice, and regardless of the outcome, we have nothing to lose with it.
Allie, you had a stellar record at RIT, 1.69 goals against average, 49 wins, 938 save percentage. Even better numbers in the postseason, 11-1, 0.9 GAA in the postseason, 969 save percentage. Unbelievable numbers in the postseason. What for you has made you so reliable in the postseason?
I don't know. I really don't know what it is. I try not to change up too much in the postseason. I think it's just the mentality and just the focus that comes with it. So I've always done a little bit better in the postseason in those big games. I've always been able to come up big. But I think another big part of it is our defense and our forwards in defensive zone come playoff time. They're really willing to keep players to the outside and they block a lot of shots, so they make it easier for me as well. So, I mean, it's a combination of both. The whole team kind of rises to the occasion come playoff time and really helps out a lot in the D zone. And then I'm able to get my focus up where it needs to be and really perform my best when it counts in the postseason.
So, Allie, I was wondering this. Are you, obviously you're really talented and you're a senior now. What's next? Any thoughts of being the next Shannon Sabatos?
Not really sure yet. I did attend the development camp this past summer for Team Canada, the under-22 team. But I'm not sure if that's really what I'm going to be pursuing after this. Not 100% decided yet, but I think I'm putting more focus on my career come next year. And I've had some issues with injuries, and I don't know how much more hockey my body would be able to handle. So I might be having to let that one go.
As a female goalie yourself, what do you think about the Shannon Sabatos story? Not only winning medals for Team Canada, but playing professionally still in the SPHL with the Columbus Cottonmouths, with men. What do you think about that?
I think it's amazing, and it just shows how much women's hockey has grown and will continue to grow in the upcoming years. From when I was a kid until now, the sport's grown tremendously, and the fact that a professional women's player is now able to play in the men's league, it just shows how talented these players are and what they can do. And I played boys hockey all growing up, and that was a big deal for me and for other people growing up if you played on a boys team. But that was in minor hockey. Now being able for her to be able to play in the pros at that age is just incredible. And I think it just shows how much the sport's growing and where it's going.
So, growing up in Canada, you're from Oakville. Do the better girls hockey players usually play on the boys teams, or does it not usually matter?
I'm not really sure. I know I did. I had three brothers, so they were all within the same organization, and I kind of took that route. But I think it's a little bit of a mix. There are some players that choose to go over to the boys hockey, but then there's some that are extremely successful staying with the girls. So it's a little bit of a mix of both. It depends a lot, I think, on the availability of hockey programs as well. But I know a lot of successful girls come from all the girls growing up, but then you get a lot of really successful ones from the boys as well.
Now, how close of a relationship have you developed with the men's team at RIT? They're right in the playoffs as well, hosting Air Force this coming weekend while you guys will be in Minnesota. Do you guys talk, share secrets of the trade, etc.?
Yeah, we're pretty close. The whole RIT hockey program, we're all pretty close. So we support them, they support us, and it's a pretty close-knit group. We do hang out. We kind of talk about the games and stuff. So I think there is a good relationship between us and the men's team, and it's really nice to have. The whole RIT hockey program is very, very incorporated together, and it's nice. I know at some schools it's not like that, so it's a nice atmosphere to have here.
Well, I hope it's a very successful weekend for both the men and the women. You guys are traveling to
exciting.
Minnesota. When do you guys leave?
I think we're taking off Thursday. Unsure of when the flights are right now, but we'll be taking off on Thursday so that we can get there in good time, practice Friday, get all settled in, and then fly home on Sunday.
You know, one good thing about college hockey is the budgets are fairly good, so you guys fly as opposed to minor league hockey. You know,
having your coach drive.
Shannon Sabatos is not flying anywhere. I don't think they're probably taking buses
She might be driving
throughout the South.
Mark.
Yeah, that's a long bus ride. So yeah, we're pretty fortunate in that sense. We get to fly.
How can do you know how can people watch the game on Saturday? Is it going to be webcast?
I think it will be. I'm not sure whether you have to go through the NCAA site or whether it will be streamed through the Minnesota Gophers hockey site, but it will be streamed online.
Okay. Oh, and you know what? Is that do they have the Olympic ice for the women up there?
Sorry, what was that?
In Minnesota, do they have Olympic ice for the women?
I'm not sure about that either. I know the women play in a separate rink than the men.
Right.
I'm not sure what the size of ice is. I'm not sure about that.
I'm guessing. I think I want to say it is. I think everyone plays up in Minnesota pretty much on the big ice. That's their thing up there. That'll be interesting because those northern Midwestern teams kind of pride themselves on playing that wide open hockey. You know, the long passes. East to west. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll take it as it comes, kind of see once we get there, and I think it'll be big for us to get a practice in there as well and get the feel for the rink and everything.
Very cool. Allie, best of luck this weekend. Hope you guys beat the Gophers. I saw you tweeted that Tigers eat Gophers. Is that true?
I don't know. That's what I heard it. It's a rumor.
Okay.
So we'll see.
I think a tiger would probably eat a gopher.
I agree. I think if you put them in a cage together, I don't think there would be
I
much
think the only real
much of a
escape
match.
for the gopher would be for it to sort of get out of the cage.
Yeah, just run away pretty much. So hopefully that's what the Golden Gophers will be doing come Saturday. Allie, thanks so much for joining us. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yep.
Bye.
All right, so good luck to RIT women's hockey.
Yeah, that's exciting. That the fact that they had such a quick turnaround too, in only a few years. They're already
Division III playing in the NCAA tournament for Division I.
And just like the men, I mean, their first year in, they would have made it to the tournament and they couldn't. I remember.
Right.
I remember it was like they knew they weren't going to go, but it still hurt. And now it's become a pretty legitimate program, and they've had their ups and downs as we've seen, but.
So as I said, RIT, the men are facing Air Force in their best of 3 series this weekend. That is at home. Friday night. Maybe Saturday. I don't know, but we'll see.
I don't know what I saw real quick that kind of made me shake my head in a little bit of a chuckle. At the Lancers game, they have all the fatheads for all the teams that are going to be in the tournament. And I was looking at them, and I'm like, "Where's the RIT one
in the
Blue Cross Arena?"
Okay,
the only one that was blocked by an advertising was the RIT Tigers fat head. It was
Oh,
blocked by
really?
a Dunkin' Donuts
Oh, no.
advertisement.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the home team.
Yeah,
What?
it was the only one. Even on the other side with Air
Oh,
Force, you could
no.
see Air Force. You just couldn't see RAT.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Air Force won't be in that tournament if RAT beats them this weekend.
Yes.
So hopefully, I think I was at the AHA tournament either last year or the year before, and I remember Air Force beat RAT, I think.
I think it was the year before.
Yeah. Air Force is usually pretty good. So
Yes,
that should be
sir.
a good series. John, we had, speaking of college hockey, the longest game in college hockey history Friday night. Okay? The UMass
Minutemen.
Yes, the Minutemen. Thank you. Defeated Notre Dame on the road 4-3 in 5 overtimes. Shane Walsh scoring the game winner at 11:42 of the 5th overtime. Beat the previous longest game, which was Union. Union had the previous 2 longest games. One was last year. One was in 2012, I believe, by 80 seconds. So,
it's a lot of hockey.
Congratulations. The game ended at 1:30 in the morning after 5 hours and 55 minutes of hockey.
That's a lot of hockey.
That is a lot of hockey.
Anyone who's played hockey knows that's a lot of hockey.
That is a lot of hockey.
It's
I cannot really
dead
imagine
legs.
playing.
Talk about dead legs.
I cannot imagine playing that much hockey.
And then
It's
having
incredible.
to go to practice the next day
No,
or even play
they had
a game.
to play.
Yeah.
It's a best of 3.
They
So they had to play the next night. And UMass was the underdog. Unfortunately, they then went on to lose 5-3 to Notre Dame on Saturday night. Series tied 1 apiece, and then Notre Dame blew them out 7-0 on Sunday. So I'm guessing UMass was probably just a little tired.
Yeah. I mean,
after
that. Imagine that you have a couple hours of sleep, and you wake up and you're not much better.
I know you got to play. That is tough. That is now that I really think about it, to go 5 overtimes and having to play a 3-3.
Yeah.
So they played 8 periods on Friday, 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. So that's 14 periods of hockey in under. 48 hours?
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. I've never even heard of that, actually.
It's like,
that's incredible.
It's one of those things when you really, really think about it. Anyone like you or me who's played sports, you realize, like, because like I played up until college, and after that you think, man, how much of this can you take, and get to a point where you're like, I don't think I could do that. I that's a lot of hockey. You gotta that's warrior status. You gotta give it to them.
It really is.
You gotta give it to them.
Unbelievable. AHL news. The Hamilton Bulldogs are no more, John. This is very sad story.
I did not know about that. That's one of our best rivals.
Very sad story. The Hamilton Bulldogs are done after this year. It was announced that the Bulldogs will be moving to St. John's because the Ice Caps, who are currently in St. John's, will be moving to Winnipeg. They'll share an arena with the Jets, and they're most likely going to be called the Manitoba Moose once again.
Now that'll be cool to
Which
see
is
the
cool.
Moose. To see the Moose come back.
Moose are back in the AHL.
I liked having another Moose logo.
Yeah, I like. Did you Did you ever see Happy Gilmore? Obviously.
Yeah.
They stole the Manitoba Moose logo. Did you notice that?
Yes.
The team that he was playing for in that movie, they just stole the Manitoba Moose logo, or maybe they paid him like royalties, but maybe not that much.
I'm sure they did.
I'm sure they had to pay for it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny that they took the Manitoba Moose for that logo.
But the fact that St. John's is getting a team again,
they
deserve it.
Yeah, they deserve to keep a team. They really do. But Hamilton is a great hockey city.
I don't think they put much in the fans.
The best in the league.
They're not a good hockey city, but we like playing them.
They're decent. They could draw. When they went to the Calder Cup Finals, they sold out a couple games. They drew 16,000.
Sounds to me like fair weather fans.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
But I'm gonna miss the 19 million games a year against
Hamilton. The Amerks are going to be playing a totally different group of teams next year. The Amerks will be moving to the Eastern Conference, so we're going to see. Adirondack's also gone, so we're going to see more games. I think we didn't play Albany. Amherst didn't play Albany at all this year. I think they'll play Albany again. They didn't play Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, or Hershey at all. I think they'll play both those teams. I think they'll play Lehigh Valley. They haven't played them. Charlotte, maybe they haven't played them at all.
We'll see Portland.
Portland, hopefully.
I want to see Portland.
Portland would be great.
The Portland
Pirates.
almost Lewiston Pirates.
Well, they were the Lewiston Pirates.
The Elpies.
Well, actually, yeah, technically last year they were the Portland Pirates still, but they just played in Lewiston. I like to call them, when you and I talk, we would call
the
them
Elpies.
the
Elpies.
The Elpies, right?
But when I was living in Maine at the time, I wanted to, take the kids to an Elpies game, and then the game I wanted to go, they weren't playing in Lewiston. They weren't playing at the Coliseum. They were playing at the
Was that? That's not. Oh yeah, Le Calais, right?
Yes,
Why is it in French in Lewiston?
because
Because
Maine
they played in the Quebec League.
Well, look at it this way: Maine is
Do
Arcadia.
you remember the Lewiston Maniacs?
I do remember the Lewiston Maniacs. The Maniacs were my favorite.
And it was
uniform.
Maine in capital letters, and then EX in small letters.
And the Maniacs are no more, but no, the reason for the French is, I mean, Maine is Arcadia. I mean, that's where that's where the Cajuns came from, and there's a lot of French. Yeah, Acadia.
Yeah, you said Arcadia.
I did not say Arcadia.
You said Arcadia.
I'm not talking about a local high school. Arcadia, that's Greece.
I know,
but
it's okay.
But Acadia is French, and there's a lot of French influence. As I was living there, in certain parts, you just see a lot of French influence in Maine.
Yeah, there really is, which is cool. John, we talked about a little bit last week. Some quick basketball news. The hashtag Get Courtney to Ellen worked. Courtney Wagner, the girl who is working with cancer.
Yep.
She played for the Razor Sharks.
Yeah, it was an amazing dunk.
Scored 2 points. And then the goal was to get her on the Ellen DeGeneres show because she really liked Ellen DeGeneres.
Okay.
So there was a hashtag Get Courtney to Ellen that went out on Twitter and Facebook, and it worked. She went on the Ellen show, and a surprise from Ellen, she gave her a check for $15,000.
Well, that's very nice of Ellen, and that's awesome for her. And
and it was very cool for Rochester too.
That is cool.
Just kind of the collective,
Anything
working together of using that hashtag got her to Ellen.
One thing I've been seeing a lot of is you're seeing a lot of these good feel-good stories. Yeah. Now that we have social media working the way it does, a lot more people are getting exposed to the things they need, and I think that's one of the good things about the media nowadays.
Absolutely. And the Sharks remaining undefeated, 14-0 now. They beat Buffalo 134-97 on Saturday.
Is that 19 or 20?
I'm sorry?
Games undefeated.
14. I just said it.
Oh.
It's okay. And then they beat Erie 123-103. Yeah, no, they're 14-0. So congratulations to the Sharks. I think they will go 19-0. I really don't think it's going to be much of an issue.
Yeah.
John, we got to talk about this. The Flash have a new mascot.
A puppy.
Here it is. It's a
golden retriever, it looks like.
Is that a retriever?
It looks like a golden retriever to me.
It's a muscular dog. Like, he is jacked. Like, this dog has been working out.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a golden retriever that got into its owner's no explode. I mean, it's an interesting logo. I don't understand it, though. The Flash.
So, yeah, the Flash have a mascot. It's a dog. And they're looking for a name for the mascot. Any ideas off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head? Spot.
Yeah, but what does it have to do? I think it should have something to do with either hot dogs or Rochester or Western New York.
Okay, you're right. It probably should have something to do with hot dog since the
You know what they
team is
should just call the mascot?
Hot dog.
Hot dog.
Yeah, hot dog. I like it. But they have to spell dog, D-A-W-G. Dog. Hot dog.
Why didn't they get a dachshund?
I don't know, but that would have been perfect.
Why did they get a dachshund as a mascot?
That would have been perfect. And call it hot dog.
Hot dog. Or just Sailing. Sailing the hot dog.
Sailing the hot dog.
Or just a hot dog. An actual hot dog as a mascot. Why didn't they use that?
With ketchup and mustard on
it. I think that's what obviously that's what they were thinking, now that I think of it. Dog, hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta name it hot dog.
Gotta name the dog. Name it hot dog.
Have to name
hot
it
dog.
hot dog.
Hot
name
dog.
It hot dog.
Hot dog. Hot dog. Nah, I like that. Or bun.
Bun's not bad.
Yeah.
How about heavily processed meat?
Wiener.
Okay. One last thing, John. The Dome Arena, its roof collapsed on February 23rd due to heavy snow.
Yeah, no shock.
Because no one cleaned the snow off the roof. Although I feel like it would probably be pretty dangerous due to the shape of the roof.
That's probably why no one did it.
Right. And then it was sold. Now, I don't know if it had anything to do with maybe the value being diminished a little bit after the roof collapsed.
Well, how much of it collapsed, though? Because usually the whole thing's
like a quarter of it. Or, no, maybe an eighth. It was a pretty significant section of it, though.
Who bought it?
A man named Michael Sparata, I believe. I have the article right here. But they asked Soccer Sam, Michael Spoletta, sorry, They asked Soccer Sam what he thought of it, and he said that the Lancers, would kind of keep an eye on it, and that it's a possibility that they could play there someday.
I think that'd be awesome if they renovated it and fixed the roof. And next thing you know, they put some seats where the Lancers they need an area capable. That's a team that can draw 10,000. So doesn't always, but can. So I think that they need an arena that can suitably hold the people they can hold.
Here's the thing: the Dome Arena right now seats 2,100 and change.
Yeah,
that's not enough.
No.
So they would have to renovate it, make it so it could hold at least 4,000.
I'd say at least 5,500.
I think either way, if you're the Lancers and you move to the Dome, your attendance is going to go down.
I don't know, because I think if you have a decent arena that's outside of downtown,
but
a lot of the fan base is not downtown. I think it might benefit. We all know about the Rhinos and the stadium and gates and the stadium in the city, and we can all honestly say with little reservations that if they put the stadium in the suburbs, we wouldn't be seeing the attendance issues that we're seeing.
I agree.
So,
But, John, here's the thing. The Blue Cross Arena is pretty nice, okay?
It's very
nice.
As
much as people complain about it, it's pretty nice. We're lucky to have it. If you go to Syracuse or Utica or Binghamton or Albany, well, Albany's nice, but Syracuse, Binghamton, or Utica, they would all love to have the Blue Cross Arena.
Yeah, but Syracuse, Binghamton, Utica are much
those
smaller.
are relics. Those are like, they were all used in Slapshot. Okay? Those are relics. It's a different atmosphere. But as far as being a marquee arena where you can draw not only, all the sports teams that we have, but big concerts, I think that's another thing, The Blue Cross Arena does get some big shows here. The Black Keys were here, They
get there's a lot of big shows there, and I think that that's a good thing. I still don't think that we should use that sort of just because it's there. It doesn't mean it can't be better. There gets a point where things, if something stays stagnant long enough, it's irrelevant. Even something like the Blue Cross Arena is nice. In a few years, it should probably be renovated just to upkeep it. Everything needs to be upkept.
Yeah, and it is being renovated. They're putting another $100 million. No, yeah, it might be $100 million. They're putting a lot of money into it.
Yeah, I do believe we did hear something about that, and it's just things need to be kept relevant.
Right, but my point is that the Blue Cross Arena, which is pretty nice compared to even a renovated Dome Arena, it's not going to be nicer than the Blue Cross.
No, it's not. And
so if you're the Lancers, listen, the Sharks I could see playing there because the Sharks' attendance is not great. Okay, it's okay, it's not great.
It could be better.
Lancers draw much better than the Sharks.
Yeah,
at least double. Okay, so for the Lancers, I don't think it makes sense. I know they might do it for financial reasons.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they can make more money there because they can control their own concessions and parking, etc.
And I think that's something that we overlook because we like going downtown to the Blue Cross Arena, but you got to look at it from the team's standpoint. What's more lucrative for them to go on in their plans on becoming bigger and better?
It's going to be probably moving. So
it'll
be interesting to see what happens. On the radio, Sam wouldn't say anything definitively. Whether they're going to move next year. I think the team is coming back. They're selling season tickets, so I don't think people have to worry about the Lancers.
And I think people have showed their appreciation after what happened, and I think the fans have come out in force and showed that yes, we're glad you came back, and yes, we're going to support you. I think that the Lancers have definitely become a staple up there with the Amerks and the Nighthawks.
John, I have an amazing story that we're gonna save.
Oh, okay, I love amazing stories.
We're gonna save it for next week, though. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna tease this for next week. We have to talk about the minor league pitcher who lives in a van.
Oh yeah, I was reading about that at work actually online.
This is the greatest story, possibly the greatest sports story I've ever read. All right, but we'll save it for next week. We're running pretty late here.
All right.
Live read time.
Live read time.
We're live read, not library.
Oh, okay. That's what it sounded like. It's live read. You said livery. It sounded like
Okay, I thought you thought I said library. But
I don't know what you said, but it didn't sound like live read.
Live read. Yes, it's live read time. John, why don't you tell us about Leroy Discount Liquor?
Leroy Discount Liquor is a great place. Now, here's the thing. It's starting to melt. We're finally...
What's starting to melt?
The snow.
Oh, I thought
That's
you
why I
meant
said
Leroy Discount
it.
Liquor was
No.
starting up.
I said it because I don't want to say the word because I don't want to jinx it to come back. But the snow is starting to melt.
It's gone. It's spring.
Yeah, well,
I predict, John.
I know you predicted
I
it.
predicted an early spring, and it's coming true.
Well, let's not get too carried away. But we have some nice weather here, and there's no excuse not to get out there. There's no bad weather. You can go down to Leroy Discount Liquor, and they have a huge selection of $15 and under wine. $5.99 rack, which is my personal favorite. We've sampled some on the show, and you can get yourself some spirits. Now this fits. You can get yourself some good spirits and talk to the owner, Johnny. Not only is he a sports fan, but he really knows his stuff. So talk to him and go down to Leroy Discount Liquor in the Tops Plaza in Leroy.
All right.
Oh, I thought you were gonna throw your thing in there about going to the Chinese.
Yeah, I
place.
was.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
Yes, go to the Chinese place who's not paying us next door.
No, but definitely go to Leroy Discount Liquor. Great store, great owner, great prices.
I want to enjoy this for a second. I'm so happy right now.
It reminds me of a spring day with pup. There's like a puppy, a golden retriever
There's a puppy
dancing
in here.
around.
The flash puppy Talon or Bun is in here.
And its owner is drinking a glass of wine from Leroy Discount Liquor. She's very pretty, and it's a nice little scene. There's flowers.
Okay, love Leroy Discount Liquor.
Me too.
John says we need to come up with new stuff to say for the ad.
Okay, all right, Johnny. I will work on that for next week. Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, also please remember, if you are out and about in Rochester, the best place you can go is the Mirage, 414 West Ridge Road.
Where's
in
the music?
Rochester. Couldn't find it.
Yeah, it's not the same without music.
All right, hold on.
I mean, you got to get the
Keep
feel.
talking.
You got to get the feel for just how hot the girls are, just how cold the beer is, and just how nice of an atmosphere it is when you're in there around all these awesomely beautiful girls. So I mean,
They are very beautiful.
Yeah, we need to do justice with some music. Not only that, but it's when it's just so quiet like that, and you're talking about that, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep talking though.
Okay. Well, as I said, it's the best place to go on a Friday, Saturday.
How about a Monday?
How about a Monday?
Today's a Monday.
Shoot. Well, if you don't have to work.
Who works at night?
Me.
Besides me.
And me. So, both of us work at night, but it seems like you may work.
Yes, guys. If you are out and about in Rochester, make sure you are visiting the Mirage 414 in Western Road, where you will find 20 or more of the hottest girls every night of the week. 7 nights a week. They are open 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. They have the coldest beer and the hottest girls. You might even see a disco ball or two.
Say, do they have a really nice disco
there is
ball?
a disco ball there.
Do they now? What about their DJ? How's their DJ?
DJ is awesome.
Is he? Should you tip? Should they tip the DJ?
Yeah, why not? Do it. Just do it. But tip the girls first. That's the most important. Tip the girls.
So they can tip the DJ.
Tip the girls. Tip your bartenders. Tip your waitresses. Tip everyone. Tip the door guy. Why not?
Yeah, definitely.
Just be a good tipper. I like good tippers.
Tip everyone because it makes people happier.
Yeah.
And there's
nothing
nothing worse than
they
dealing
don't
with.
Tip.
Well, they don't tip really anywhere else.
I know.
In the world.
What's the deal with that?
Well, because the way they see it, they pay people better so they don't have to.
They do.
Yeah, that's gonna. And
Minimum
they
wage
do.
is not $1 an hour in most countries.
So they treat their staff not needing tips. But we don't do that here. So tip them and make them feel better and show that you appreciate them.
Although I did hear Cuomo, the governor,
Yeah.
is trying to raise the minimum wage to $10.50, and that will include tipped workers.
And it should. There's no reason for them to be not getting paid well, so they have to hopefully get tips because we all know not everyone tips, and you shouldn't have to go to a job where you're subjected to lower pay just because someone might tip you.
Might tip you.
Yes, that's
no guarantee. They might.
They might, and they don't have to.
Right.
It's a tip.
Not required.
It's gratuity.
I mean, what's the worst thing that'll happen if you don't tip?
Someone will think you're a jerk,
and the waitress will take a picture of it and post on Facebook and like, these guys.
And yeah, and then you're gonna move on your day and be like, yeah,
right.
so was she. That's why I didn't tip her. And
right.
that's what's gonna happen.
But That being said, you should tip. Don't be a dude.
It's part of our culture,
right?
And until we fix the pay, we should take care of these people.
Fixed, I mean, tips shouldn't stop. You should still tip
the whole point of a tip.
Waitresses, bartenders, they all work
very
hard.
Wait. Wasn't this a Seinfeld episode? Tipping?
I don't know. I remember. Was it?
Wasn't it because was it Kramer or Newman that didn't tip?
Guessing Newman. Newman seemed to be kind of cheap.
Yeah, I think I remember.
When you control the mail, you control information. Because the mail never stops. It's true, though. Yeah. The mail never stops. And that doesn't stop.
That has to be
it's got to drive you nuts if you're a mailman.
That has to be a good job, though.
No, the mail never stops.
But you're getting paid.
What you people talk about going postal, I understand it. The mail never stops. Listen, email can stop if you just
email doesn't stop, though.
Look,
who's going to turn off their iPhone?
You can.
Did you?
You can't not get mail, though. Kramer tried it.
You can get it on Sunday.
Kramer tried it, and he had to go to the Postmaster General, who threatened him. He's like, I drove down from D.C., and I'm missing a good game of golf, Mr. Kramer. Well, I really like golf, Mr. Kramer.
But you do realize that
the
mail
here
stops
talking to you.
on Sunday. Email continues on Sunday.
That's it. I'm done. I've had enough.
Yeah, I've had enough.
I don't want my mail. What did he say?
I just remember, I've had enough. Seinfeld's a great show. I need to watch more, go back and watch more reruns of that.
We love our sponsors.
Yes,
another of our favorite sponsors is, hold on.
May I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to cancel my mail.
Certainly. How long would you like us to hold it?
I want out permanently.
I'll handle this, Violet. Why don't you take your 3-hour break? Calm down, everyone. No one's canceling any mail.
Oh, yes, I am.
Well, what about your bills?
The bank can pay them.
The bank? And well, what about your cards and letters?
Email, telephones, fax machines, FedEx, Telex, Telegram.
The smile slowly starts going away, turning into a scowl.
Of course, nobody needs mail. What, you think you're so clever figuring that one out? But you don't know the half of what goes on here. So just walk away, Kramer. I beg of you.
Is everything all right here, Postal Employee Newman?
Yes, sir. I believe everything is all squared away. Isn't it, Mr. Kramer?
Oh, yeah. As long as I stop getting mail.
Good stuff. Rochester Sports and Physical Therapy is your place, Rochester, to get physical therapy. Whether you got a shoulder problem, rotator cuff, back problems, ankles, knees, anything. Any reason you need physical therapy, this is the best place you can go. They have the most experienced physical therapists, Katie and Edna. Katie's been doing it for over 2 decades. Edna, just under 2 decades. That is a long time. That is a lot of experience between the two of them. Give them a call, 334-8090. I've been going there to rehab my knee. It's going great. Love Katie. She's the best. Edna is great, too. Comfortable office. They have everything you could ever need for your physical therapy.
Do they have one of those nice, really cold water dispensers?
Yeah, they do, actually. How'd you know?
I was just because it sounds like a top-flight organization.
It is a first-class physical therapist place. The best part is you do not even need a prescription from your doctor. Just go there, give them a call, schedule your first appointment. You get 10 visits. If you have any medical insurance, 10 visits without a prescription. And, if you have a prescription, you can get more. So give them a visit or a call today. They're conveniently located off of Calkins Road in Henrietta, right off 390, exit 13. That is Rochester Sports and Physical Therapy. We have to thank RockSportsNetwork.com, our home network. Guys, there are some great shows that are being added to RockSportsNetwork.com.
Oh, wow.
We're very lucky. We were pretty much the first show.
Yep.
At least the first show that's recorded here in the Rock Sports Network studio. There's some other shows that are imported in. But now there's a whole bunch of them. Matt and Matt on Ice, local and regional hockey news and views. We had both of them, Matt Stefopoulos and Matt Winthrop, on our show last week.
The Mats. There was 3 matches.
They were great. They really know what they're talking about as far as hockey goes. Check them out. They record on Wednesdays. I think you can find their show on Thursdays on rocksportsnetwork.com. The Big Schmaz.
We need to have the guys from the Big Schmaz on.
The Big Schmaz. I would love to have superstar Rob Schultz and Ivan the Impaler, both former wrestlers.
Mm-hmm. I thought they were current wrestlers.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I thought they were current wrestlers, but yeah, that'd be cool.
They do a great job. They talk about wrestling on the Big Schmaz. Also, rocksportsummer.com is your home for local high school sports broadcasts. They just broadcast a high school game live last week. Matt and Matt did the one of the sectional finals for high school hockey. Live streaming of men's and women's high school lacrosse coming this spring. John, I know you're a big lacrosse guy. I'm sure you follow high school lacrosse a little bit.
I do.
And also, we have a new baseball podcast coming called Rock Baseball Weekly. So, guys, check out those other shows.
A lot of good
shows. Look for
shows
those on rocksportsnetwork.com. Also, thank you to our other networks, latenightsportsradio.com. You can find us Tuesday nights at 10 o'clock on latenightsportsradio.com. And also, we are on rockpodcast.com, and there's some other great Rochester content on that.
And don't forget our friends over there at the Chamber Boys.
Oh, yeah. It's daytime, so I didn't even think of them. I haven't seen Moona today. But, yeah, check out the Chamber Boys. All right, guys, we will talk next week. We will have your full report from Baltimore. The Lancers traveling to Baltimore on Wednesday. We will have your report from the Gene Policini Center as the Tigers face off against Air Force in a best-of-3. Also from Minnesota as the RIT women's team face off against Minnesota in that quarterfinal. We will also have Amherst news, Razor Sharks news, Rhinos news, whatever else comes up in rock sports, we will have next week for you. Keep listening, guys. Thank you so much for the support.
Have a good night. Hope for some big upsets.
Absolutely. For who?
Well, for the
Lancers,
for RIT women. So hope for some big upsets.
All right, guys. Have a good rock sports week.
Good night.